although my name's Andrew, many of you know me as Drew. When I was very young, my parents sent me to Sunday school, and whilst there I really enjoyed those stories, but that's all they were to me. They were just good stories. When I left school at 16, I got an apprenticeship, an engineering apprenticeship, and through a series of circumstances that worked to my advantage, I was eventually sent to university to study electrical engineering. Now, I'd always believed that there was a God, and my experience of science and engineering led me to believe that life was just so complicated that it couldn't have been an accident. That life, the universe and everything was down to a creator, because the randomness and the statistical likelihood of things coming about as they are now, it was just unbelievable to me. At the age of about 15 or 16, I met my now wife, and partway through that degree course, we were married, much to the shock and horror of my parents. We were expected to attend her church as preparation for marriage. Now, I'm convinced, as many academics are, that the evidence for a historical Jesus and for the accuracy of the things that he did is absolute and irrefutable. There is so much evidence from both in the Bible and from external sources. So when the minister spoke to me about the logic of Jesus either being somebody who was simply deceived and illogical and bordering on insanity because he thought he was God, was one of the options. The second was that he was plain evil and he was out to deceive people. And the third was that his claims to be the Son of God and actually God himself were the only three possible options open to me. And I was convinced that he wasn't mad. And certainly from all that I knew and read about him, he wasn't evil. And that only left a third option, that he was speaking the truth and he is and was God. My dilemma was then to respond to that, because there had to be a response from me to acknowledge and to accept or to walk away. I was eventually convinced that I needed to do something about it, and in my own words, I felt I was dragged into the kingdom of God kicking and screaming, because I didn't really want to be a Christian like other people, but I thought that there was really no other option. I just had to surrender to the logic. It was many years later that I read that C.S. Lewis had used very similar words about his encounter with God. I felt somewhat better about that, but I didn't feel that I measured up. To bring things a little bit more up to date, some years ago I had an accident on my motorcycle and suffered a moderate to severe brain injury as a result. I was left with double vision, which is now resolved after surgery, dizziness and distraction, which are still issues that I struggle with. My business and income disappeared overnight, but a phrase that I like in reading the Bible is "but God," and that has been my experience. Despite the traumatic events of injury and the loss of income, I recognise that God has been right at my side throughout all of it. And not only have I been reconciled to God and restored through Jesus and the cross, but He is close to me. He is my provider. He's been strengthening, and He is continuing to heal me. I know I can trust Him for whatever the future holds. I recommend Him to you, especially at this time where COVID-19 is rampant. I plead with you, yes, plead is not too strong a word, to ask the serious questions of life. There are plenty of ways in which you can find the answers to that, but if you're serious about it, you could try using the Alpha course. I would definitely recommend that as a non-threatening venue to ask the awkward questions and to seek the answers to what life really is about. Or you can ask me. Thanks for listening.